Hello, welcome to Scr1tno Knitting Project podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family, 3 cats and a dog. This is episode 44 and today is Thursday the 6th of February 2020. Hello, if you are a new viewer, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me today. So this is my podcast about how I get through my whips. I probably should say it's a knitting project, a knitting podcast. I have got some crochet. I did attempt some sewing last year, didn't work very well, so I probably won't be repeating that in a hurry. I did do some embroidery, but I haven't done any of that for a little while. So yeah, primarily it's knitting, to be fair. So let's go straight into it. So first up is admin. You can find me as Scr1tno pretty much everywhere. The podcast has a Ravelry group. I am struggling with my words today. The podcast has a Ravelry group. We have a knit along going on at the moment. It is a year-long knit along, and it is to knit a square a day on a blanket. I'm using my Cozy Memories blanket. We've got a Battenberg blanket I know that's going on, and I'm fairly certain that someone's trying to sneak in with a granny stripe a day. That's my lovely friend Alice, who's kind of crept in under the radar. So yeah, to be fair, if you manage to do a stripe a day on one of these giant granny blankets, good on you, because they do take a while. So yeah, so I'm being kind of free with the rules, I think. Also, if you want to quilt, if you want to do a little quilt square a day, you can. You know, I said I had 3 cats. Well, we're likely to get interrupted because I don't know what's got into them today. One of them is just here over my shoulder, meowing. Don't know what his problem is. So yeah, so if you even if you're doing a quilt and you're doing like a square a day on your quilt, then yeah, go for it. Perfect. So we're going to have 3 monthly check-ins, and the idea is we'll check in. Our first check-in will be the 1st of April, which will be for the previous 3 months, so January, February and March, which adds up to 91 days because February has an extra day this year. And then we will do a giveaway, and I have got a prize for the giveaway. Our lovely moderator Katie, so the Ravelry Group has a moderator called Katie, and she very kindly looks after you all for me because I am insanely busy at the moment. I mean, I was busy before, but it's got a lot worse recently. And she's doing an absolutely amazing job, bless her. But she's also started making rope bowls, which are completely all in trend at the moment, and she's making gorgeous rope bowls. She is selling them. I don't know if she's got any up at the moment, but she did last week. They're absolutely fab, and she's very kindly given me one for the podcast for a giveaway for the winner. So that's definitely going to go into the prize. I've got some stitch markers coming, that will go into the prize too. So that'll be the first sort of 3 months, and then we'll do another one after 6 months, 9 months, and then there'll be the big one at the end. I'm going to do some form of other knit along come sort of April, but because I missed out starting it in January because I was sick, I had a cold, which sounds pathetic, doesn't it? But it was quite a horrible cold. I'm giving up trying to do another cal at the moment, and I will start on April. And so anybody got any ideas for anything they want to do, let me know. I'm thinking we will probably run the scrappy socks at one point because we did that last year, didn't we? And the stripy socks. So yeah, anybody want to do anything else other than those 2? Let me know. Right, so let's get into the main part of the podcast. So day 1 is socks. I can't remember what I showed you last week. I'm fairly certain I showed you my scrappy socks under construction because they were my worry socks, and thank you very much for all your condolences over my father-in-law. I very much appreciate it. But as you can imagine, it was a slightly concerning time, and I ended up making socks just to clear my brain, I guess, and I finished them. So these are my scrappy socks. There are 2. There we go. They are exactly the same, well, except for the fact they're not, because somehow, if I put them together, somewhere I'm a stripe out. It's like, how? How did I do that? I'm thinking it might be this yellow. Oh no, it can't be that, that's the gusset and it's before then. I do it that way around. Can I see it in the camera? Let's put the tops together. I think it is somewhere in the heel flap because the tops do actually match. Oh, I don't know. Somewhere along the line they went wrong. I don't mind, they're for me. And they're so pretty. And these are a mix of Lay Family yarn and Sherry Iris, just little leftovers I had. I had tiny little leftovers. I've done 8 rows for each colour except for the heel flap and the toe. And any leftover I had, some I did, some I didn't. I have put into a magic knot ball, which is going to make a very pretty magic knot ball at some point. But they are absolutely identical. There is some stellina in it. Both that one and that one have stellina in it. That is definitely a Lay Family yarn. That is definitely a Sherry Iris. And it's the only 2 sparkles in there, and randomly I managed to put them together. But hey ho, I absolutely love these socks. They're so pretty. I love how they, especially this part of the foot, this bit here I think is probably my favourite. I just adore how they've gone together. Yeah, really pleased with these. Really pleased. Now I have experimented with sewing in on the ends on the leg and knitting in the ends on the foot, and I want to see how well they hold up. I've never had any problems with my ends coming out if I sew them in. I'm just wondering whether if I knit them in I'll have the same result. I have had a disaster with a magic knot that came undone in socks, so I'm not going to magic knot them. And I mean, I'm a willing end sewer, so it doesn't bother me to sew the ends in. But I thought I'd give it a go, see what happens. And I think at least on the foot it's going to get the most wear rather than on the leg. Yeah, so they're my finished object. And I have to admit, I cannot wait to wear them. I love them so much. So that's sock number 1. And the sock number 2 you won't have seen either. Now that's living in a rope bowl by So Sweet Violet. And do you remember me saying last week about the fact I owe Meg a pair of socks for taking me to the Lay Family Yarn retreat? That she chose some wool, which is in the fire, on the fire, something like that, by the fireside. I haven't got the yarn ball, and that's the main skein. It's actually sparkling. I don't know if you can see it sparkling. Oh, there, just for a second you could. And then that's the mini skein, which is also sparkling. Now you can see the sparkle in that one. And I spoke to her and asked if she would like me to make her some jelly rolls. Now, do you remember what jelly rolls look like? They are by Marie Catherine Briner, and if I can find my Ravelry page very quickly, I can show you what they look like. Projects. I mean, it's not like I didn't actually knit a ton of them last year, so I should have them somewhere. Come on, where's my jelly rolls? Is that a better photo? Yeah. Not a great photo, but that's what a jelly roll is. So it's got the rolled top in 2 different colours, rib in the middle, and I do different coloured toes. So that's what she would like. So I've done the first roll top, which is that one there. And I have, I think, finished the second roll top as well. Yeah, I think that's got 6 rows on it. So I did 12 for the first one and 6 for the second. So I'm ready to join them to make them into socks. So that's what I'm doing for her. So hopefully next sock day I'll at least have one of these finished, because they don't take me long, so I need to crack on with those. But yeah, that's my current sock whip. Now I've still got my Christmas socks on the go. I haven't knit any of those this week, but they will make great car knitting or cinema knitting, so I've kind of put them to one side for a different time. So they're my socks for this week. So having said last week I had to stop casting on new things, I then promptly cast on a new thing. We all know what I'm like, really, don't we? Hence the knitting project and why I need 6 days to work through everything. But as you can see, it does work. I do get finished objects, which is kind of cool. And these, I do my 60 stitches on 2.5mm needles, and I have size 5 feet, so you know they're fairly long. Yeah, so that's day 1, socks. So day 2 is shawl day, and my current project is hanging out in an elderflower stitches bag. Now, to the lady who I met at Ravelry Wool Show, who hasn't opened her Giddy Yarns advent calendar yet, look away for a minute, because I'm getting near the end now and you can see almost all the colours. Right, so I have only got 4 more colours to add. So on that math, I should be on day 20. I should be on day 20. Okay, so I have done. That's where I was, where my little ice cream is, and that's a stitch marker from Hannah at the Corner of Craft. I have done that one. I love it. I'm loving these blues into greens. That one, and I think that colour there was my favourite of all the colours. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'd love a full skein in that. It's so pretty. Really, really love that colour. So I have got, it starts out in the pinks, and then goes into the purples, which in turn go into the blues, and then into the greens. And I absolutely love it. Now this is the Litmus Cow, which is a pattern by Amy Florence of the Stranded podcast and Stranded Dye Works. And I'm just doing mine. I'm not doing a contrast colour in between. I'm just doing the full rainbow. I weighed my one that I wear all the time, and I had more yarn left to do from that advent calendar than I used to do that one. So I have pretty confident that this is going to be long enough. And I've got a provisional cast on, which I will graft the 2 ends together at some point. I'm just using straightforward Knit Pro, not interchangeables, just Knit Pro wooden needles. They're little shorties. And I think this might be a 9" actually, or if not it's a 40 centimetre. Just tiny circumference and just knitting around on it, and I absolutely love it. I'm just literally knitting until I run out of yarn. I've just put a new one in, so that's the current one that I'm using. I just knit until I've run out of yarn and then I magic knot the next one in. No, I don't magic knot it at all. I don't need to on this. I just add the next one in and tie it, because it's a because the ends are on the inside, you haven't got to worry about sewing your ends in. So that's what I'm doing. I thought I was magic knotting it. I did magic knot a couple and I was like, I don't need to do this. I just need to leave the ends and tie them up. But yeah, I love this pattern. This is a great pattern for just going round and round in circles and you know, conversation knitting, shall we say. But so pretty, so pretty. I can fold it fairly neatly. It's going to look lovely. I mean, I'm probably going to get it finished just in time for the nicer weather, but it's a lovely sunny day here today. It's a blue sky day. Right, so that's my day 2 shawl day, and my lovely lady from Waltham Abbey can look back now. Can you, if you're watching, can you remind me of your name and just pop it down below for me, or message me? I don't mind which. But yeah, so that's day 2 shawl day. So day 3 is garment day, that's the one, and that's hanging out in my Cornish bag from Busy Pottering. And now I had to start a new ball, so that's a new ball. Let me just take my needle cozy off. That's a needle cozy from Busy Pottering too. Right, so I was, there's the piggy, there's the piggy. That's also a stitch marker by Hannah of Corner of Craft. So I was there and I'm now up to here. I've just started to do the increases. So you increase every 9 rows, I think. And then I think once I've done the increasing, I'm almost going to be at the length I need to put in the colour work at the bottom. But it is certainly growing. Can't even get it in the screen now. And this is the Ingrid Pullover by Isabel Kramer. Excuse me a moment. The cat is now unstuck. And underneath everything behind me, so there's going to be a crash. Oh, they're playing. Cats are playing. Right, let's go back to Isabel Kramer, shall we? Just hope there's not a crash from behind me. Right, so this is the Ingrid Pullover by Isabel Kramer. It's a colourwork sweater. It uses more colours than I've used, but I did a swatch and was happy with my colours. I love it, absolutely love it. Can't wait to get it on. Again, this is going to be another one I get finished just in time for the warmer weather, isn't it? And at the moment, I thought I'd show you this, which is my knitting notes, which is a book from Lane magazine. And I have my notes in here. So this is my notes for my Ingrid sweater. There's not much on there yet. I'll get more when I finish. But on the back here, that is my grid for working out my increases, so I know exactly where I am. So once all of these are done, all these rows are done, and you increase in the bottom row, that's when I'll probably be able to start the colour work. So yeah, I hadn't been using this, and this is another one of these. That's why it doesn't look very, it looks very pristine. This is one of these, another one of these, keep it for best and don't use it. And I just looked at it and was like, well, why am I keeping it? What am I keeping it for? You know, it's a knitting notebook. That's what it's used for. So I thought, right, well, I need to write these notes down. I'm going to write it in there. And that's what I've done. So I have started putting in all my projects, and I'm going to put some photos and things in, and scraps of wool. So I'll show you that when it's finished and what I've done in the end. But yeah, I'm starting to use those precious things that you just don't use, is the answer to that. Yeah, so that's my garment at the moment. I absolutely love it. I've loved the colour work. The yarn is Sublime DK Merino Silk Cashmere. I didn't think it would do colour work very well, but it turned out it did colour work very, very well. That was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting it to do it as well as it has, so can't wait to try it on. Yeah. So that's what my on day 3, garment day. So day 4 is crochet day, and that's hanging out in our bags by Awesome Granny caravan bag. And this is my Friendship crochet blanket, and this is made up of minis from my friends over Christmas. So it's a mixture of Katie, our moderator, and Laura of the Lonely Knitter. They're her minis. That's in there. And then Jenny of Really Goodness gave me 12 Days of Christmas. I haven't got them all in here yet. I've got to do that. So I finished all of the other ones from in here, which is good. So I'm now to start on this one, and I start from that top corner. So that's the one I start from. I was looking at that thinking, why have I got 2 from Katie together? That's because Laura's very kindly was a full skein for the 24. So I start from that top corner and work like that around. And I don't know whether if you're new here, you haven't heard the story of this. I opened these during my Vlogmas videos. Didn't bother to keep them in any form of order whatsoever. Decided I wanted to make this friendship blanket, and then had to watch all my vlogs back so I could work out which order I'd open them in. Luckily my daughter had given me a load of these, so I used them to pop the minis in, so I've got them in order. But yeah, that was a bit of a fail. But this is what I'm doing. This is a giant crochet granny square, because I can't knit stripes. My stripes don't end up as square, they go like that. And I'm using, I think it's a 4mm, it might be a 3.5mm crochet hook, which I absolutely adore. and this is how it's looking. Now I put in a row around because it's getting quite big now. So I put in something like 4 minis, but it was only one round. And this is it. So, oh, you can't see that, can you? There we go. That's probably the best. Now the middle wasn't from this. The middle was, I'd already started the middle from some minis from Scr1tno yarns, and then decided I was going to do the rest of it as the friendship blanket. So yes, really happy with that. Absolutely love it. It's going to be so pretty. Also ugly. It's, yeah, depends on your idea of it, I guess. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And it's a lovely mindless crochet. I didn't get too much done in it because crochet day this week fell on Tuesday, which is the day I do guides. So I didn't have an awful lot of time to actually do it. And that's the reason behind the knitting project and why it's only 6 days, because if it was 7 days, this would always fall on a Tuesday and it would never get done. So I've done it so that different projects fall on different days. And this next week, this will fall on the Monday, which will have a lot more time to crochet because I don't do anything Monday evenings. And then the following week after that, it'll be the Sunday, which is great, so it'll get some weekend love. So that'll be a fun Sunday, just sit there crocheting that. If I'm not going out, I mean, there's always a possibility I'm going out, but you know, that's the theory. At least it makes good car, I was about to say car knitting, well, it's car crocheting really, isn't it? Theoretically. So yeah, so that's a day 4 crochet day. So day 5 is Mystery Blanket Day, and that is also hanging out in a Bags by Awesome Granny Bag. Now I have a small problem with this, in as far as I cannot find the rest of it. I have some limited amount of yarn, but the rest of it I don't know where that is, so that I may have to put this on a hiatus until I've cleared up my craft room after Easter. But for the moment I can keep going, and all the cut time I can I will. So I have a, what did I decide it was, a PFO, a part finished object. I have one of the only I haven't, because I've just noticed an end I haven't woven in. That's from a square that's like in the middle. I need to do that. So that's the square I did this week. It's a Ferrara square, I love it. So pretty. Haven't blocked it yet. I will block it. I'm probably going to block it today. So that's that square, and then goes into that one, and that one, and that one, which has got its end that I need to do. That one, and then that one. So that's the first stripe done. That's stripe number 1 done, which I'm really pleased about. So I managed to get that done this week for this week's podcast. And this is the Mystery Blanket by Debbie Abrahams, which is run every year, and this is the 2019 blanket. I got the kit for the 2020 blanket, but I haven't started it yet. I love this, absolutely love it. I really like this one, so I want to get this one finished so much. So I think I'm going to give all the love to this one for the moment. I'm also halfway through the 2017 blanket, so I need to get that done as well. But for the moment, this one's getting the love. I am such a butterfly with these things. Now, if it worked, I may have a little bit of a time-lapse video of me beading. Square, so this is what I have. I was doing this yesterday, so it was Mystery Blanket Day yesterday. The next square has an awful lot of beads, and you thread them onto the yarn in a particular order. So as you can imagine, if you can see, there's quite quite a different order there. So yeah, as you can imagine, this took a little while yesterday. So once I'd finished that square, plus the fact that that square was a ferrule square with a load of ends, so I'd sewn in all those ends and then beaded this. So that's all part of my mystery blanket day, because all this needs to be done. But this will be ready to go now for the next square. So next mystery blanket day, which will be next Tuesday. Well, that won't get much love then because it's a guide day, but at least I'll be able to start it. And I think it's straight knitting. I think there's a little bit of pattern and just, I think it's going to be that square basically. I think it's a repeat pretty much of this square, so it's pretty much straight knitting with a little bit of pattern, and yeah, it's more bead placement, which is really pretty if I'm honest. So I think that's sort of the next square, shall we say. I'm sorry about the cats. And let me should show you this. The yarn that I do know the whereabouts of is hanging out in my Mrs. Brown's bags. I mean, it could be that it's all in here, but I don't think it is. I think I might be missing some. So we'll go as far as we can, and then if we can't go any further, I have to wait until I've tidied it at Easter. Right, so that is day 5, mystery blanket day. So day 6 is hanging out in a So Sweet Violet patchwork bag. I love this bag, it's so pretty. And that is a habitation throw, which is part of Knit Vent by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. And I am using my Advent from Les Family Yarn. That's a Christmas needle cozy from So Sweet Violet. The minis are in the bag that goes with this. And then I am, yeah, this is what I'm doing. So I was there last podcast, and this is a little stitch marker from So Sweet Violet. I think that was in her Advent this year. I think that's where I got that from, which I didn't show on my Vlogmas because there were so many people that had it. I didn't want to spoil anybody, and I didn't know whether they were going to do it like the first 12 days, second 12 days, 12 days of Christmas. So it was really lovely. But that was my little stitch marker, and then that's what I've done this week. So when was Scrappy Day last week? Let's try and work this out because it's Scrappy Day today, I think. I have it written down on my phone in my diary so that I actually remember. Otherwise I forget which day I'm on. Yeah, I'm on Scrappy Project, so today would have been Wednesday. So it was a normal working day and only had the evening, so there's not a huge amount of knitting time, but more than on a Tuesday. So yeah, that's sort of an evening's worth really. But I will get to do a little bit more on it today, so I'm looking forward to that. It's so pretty. It's working out so lovely. And if you want to see this finished, there's a fair few of us that have made this blanket out of this set. Edelweiss Knits on Instagram, Helena, she's just finished hers. It's beautiful. Busy Pottery's done one, but I think she's put some other yarn in as well. So that's Anne from Busy Pottery. So there's a few of us that have done these, but they're all much further ahead than I am, that's for sure. I don't know what number I'm on. I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 7, colour 7. And yeah, I love it. I love it. This is a really pretty kind of orange, peachy orange going in. That's a little stitch marker from West Green Loft Yarns, I believe. I haven't got much of that left, so I should start a new colour today, which is exciting. It's so long ago now since I opened the Advent that each time I open a new colour, because I left them wrapped up, it's a surprise again, which is nice. And I'm using higher bamboos for these. I do love my wooden needles. I much prefer wooden needles to metal. They're so much softer on my hands. So that's day 6, Scrappy Project Day. Right, so that's the end of the knitting rotation. The only other thing I've got to share is my Cozy Memory Blanket. And that is living in my Seaside bag by Busy Pottery. I love this bag so much. And in here I have got my little baby, this year's Cozy Memory blanket. So I have done that. It's Beehive yarns. That is Beehive yarns. That is Craft House Magic from her 12 Days of Christmas. That is Eden Cottage from a little painting ball of yarn that I've got, which basically is a type. I can show you exactly what it is because it's in here. It is a little tin. It looks like a paint tin, and it's full of little minis. And one of those does one of my squares. So I'm alternating my plainer squares, which are these, with the sort of indie dyed yarn squares. Not that that isn't indie dyed yarn. What am I looking at for? Speckled squares. So that's Craft House Magic. That's an Eden Cottage little mini. That is Beehive. That's Beehive yarns. That is Eden Cottage. And then on this end I have got something else which I can't remember the name of. Fibre Tree, I think it is. And that's part of a set. They're an American dyer, and that's part of a set that I got. Oh, it's really pretty, isn't it? Now there's a fair few of them that are in this one that are very, very dark, and I'm not sure I'm going to put them in my blanket or not. Haven't quite decided yet, but I do like that blue. That blue is really pretty. So I have done, what have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 36. And that one's 37. Yeah, so I'm really, really pleased with that. So I'm right bang up to date for today. All of January and part of February. I do love my Cozy Memory blanket, and I'm using signature needles for that because it's a special project. Oh, I can tell you what it is because I've got the little minis in here. Forest Fibre Arts, that's what it is. It's a pretty one, isn't it? It's called Rainbow Snow Cone. So I've got those, and I've got the paint box one, so I'm going to alternate them for my next few minis. So yeah, so that's my Cozy Memory blanket. So onto Happy Mail. I got a little bit this week. I have got these, which I should have shown you last week. I'm not sure where they were, but these are the Cottage Garden Collection minis from Les Family Yarn, which are really, really pretty, and were her minis that she had in last week's update. Not last week, the week before's update, which I should have shown you last week. They're lovely. So pretty. Absolutely adore these. Really do. So that's Les Family Yarn. What else have I got? I have got, sorry about the noise. I've got a few little bits and pieces in the So Sweet Violet update. I've got a little bunny stitch marker and a little bunny progress keeper. And I also got a penguin progress keeper to go on my penguin project, which will be the socks for Charlie, which I will do after I finish the socks for Meggie. Probably also do jelly rolls for that too. And then a set of owl stitch markers, which I kept seeing in her shop, and they were there, and I was like, do you know what, I'm going to get them this time round. Really pretty. So they will go on some of my spring projects now. And I also got a yarn bowl from Katie for Me, which I absolutely love. This, I love the size. Now it is housing my, I want some opinions here. Do you remember a couple of podcasts ago I said about doing a Christmas themed blanket? Not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to do like squares, like a Cozy Memory or crochet, or I haven't decided yet. Now that in my mind is definitely Christmas, that mini. 100%. It's sparkly, and I love it, and it's definitely Christmas themed. So that's I've put aside, and they're going to live in here on the table. Now, for some reason, my brain is screaming Christmas on this one as well, and it's all to do with peppermint candy. Might look a bit pinker on that side. Now, does that scream Christmas to anybody else, or is it just me? I really like it. It's also sparkly. I don't think all my yarns will be sparkly. I don't think that's a requirement particularly. It's just a coincidence these two both are. But I did look at it and go, that's such a Christmas colourway to me. It reminds me of the peppermint candy colourway that Sweet Sparrow did. I think that's why it's yelling at me. It's just saying Christmas. So at the moment, those two are living in here as the start of my Christmas blanket. I'm sort of thinking what I might do is after Easter, when I've cleared out my craft room, and I've gone through all my yarn and I've found all my Christmas minis that I want to use. I've got a feeling this bowl won't be holding them all. I might make that like my summer project when we're going away to balloon meets and things. So whatever form of scrappy blanket I decide to do, I will take away with me and do during the summer. Then it'll be ready for next Christmas, which should be kind of cool. Might be a bit boring for you lot on the podcast though. I was just thinking I might do a habitation in it. That could be cool, couldn't it? I don't know. We'll decide. So that's my acquisitions. Life stuff. Next week is a completely normal week. I'm hopefully going out with hubby for a meal tomorrow. Quiet weekend. Usual working week. Yeah, out tomorrow. Quiet weekend. And then normal week next week. Got guides on Tuesday, brownies on Thursday, and then hopefully I'll record next Thursday too. Oh, I know what I should say. I'm hoping that I will have got a D-stash done tomorrow. I want to look through and put some more bits up on the Instagram Scr1tno D-stash. Obviously this doesn't go up till Sunday, but hopefully there'll be some bits left, so go check it out just in case if you're interested. I'm going to make it slightly more expensive than I did last time because I didn't realise that postage was going to cost me as much as it did. So I will, it will be, I think they're going to be £15 a skein basically, including postage. So it's still a bargain, but I need to not lose quite so much money on postage. That was a bit of a shock. So yeah, so that's happening. So yeah, if you're seeing this on Sunday and you want to have a check out and see if we've got a bargain, then that'll be hopefully still be up. Yeah, not much else to say except I'm going to unravel. I'm going to unravel on the Sunday. I am meeting up with the lovely Laura from the Lonely Knitter podcast and Charlie from Needle Soup Yarns, and my daughter Katie's with me. So if you're going to unravel, let me know and we'll try and meet up. It's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. Right, I'm going because all my family have now interrupted me at one stage or another, and it's just getting silly. So I hope you all have a great week wherever you are. Take care. I'll see you next week.